boys and girls. Today we are going to read the story about the adventure of Petunia and friends. Once upon a time, there was a girl named Petunia who loved eating chocolate. One day, as she was walking home from school, she remembered something that brightened her day.
Johnny gave me a candy bar for my birthday. I can eat it on my way home. Just as she took a bite, she heard a noise that shouted, "Petunia, this is your 5th one. You are driving me crazy with all this sugar." "Who said that?" Petunia asked. "You can't see me, but I'm inside you. My name is Bonnie Blood. You're running very high on glucose by eating all those candy bars, and I'm having quite a hard time with getting you back to homeostasis." "Homeo what?" Petunia puzzled. "If your body is unbalanced, negative feedback happens, which is a process that takes place to get your body balanced again." "What does that have to do with my candy bar?" "By eating so much sugar, your blood glucose level rises due to all the sugars you eat. To get back to homeostasis, insulin is released to lower your blood glucose level." "Hi, I'm insulin, and I help Bonnie lower blood glucose when you eat too much sugary sweets." "Well, what else do you do for me, insulin? Can't I go running and burn off the chocolate bars without you?" Petunia asked. "Well, Petunia, that isn't all true. See, with me, I form triglyceride in the adipose tissue, enhance production of ATP, stimulate photosynthesis, help the pancreas, play by beta cells, and..." Well, hold it. What does all this mean? ATP, triglyceride? Can't you do some explaining, insulin? Of course. Let's start from the beginning with my friend Beta, the beta cell. I'm beta and live in the cell located in the islets of Langerhans in the pancreas. When your blood glucose level is high, I release insulin into the blood to lower the amount of glucose. So me eating this candy bar puts you to work? That is correct. But what about all the other stuff you listed, insulin? Once I have helped lower the glucose amount, your liver stores sugar to use at a later time. Now I know the beginning and end, but what happens in the middle? Let's start with your adipose tissue and continue down the stream, if you get my drift. For starters, I stimulate the formation of triglyceride in your adipose tissue that helps control your appetite, as well as absorbing the glucose from the chocolate you ate. "If my food goes into my stomach, how do you get to it?" Petunia asked. "There are a few processes that happen so I get the glucose. It starts with me stimulating amino acid absorption. This happens when you eat, and it goes from your stomach to intestine, then to Bonnie Blood and me. I also stimulate protein synthesis, which happens after amino acid absorption, by making the acid into proteins to store or use in your body, giving you energy known as ATP. So is ATP like drinking an energy drink, but my body makes it based off the foods I eat?" Petunia wondered. "Pretty much. And when I enhance the production of ATP, glycolysis occurs, which is where glucose is broken down into 2 molecules of pyruvate and produces ATP, needed when your energy levels are low. Then I stimulate phosphorylative diffusion because glucose is too big to transport, so a carrier protein takes it from high to low concentration without using energy. Finally, I also regulate the GLUT4 transporter. That regulates my glucose disposal." "What if it's the other way around and my glucose is low?" "That is when George Glucagon comes in. I'm George Glucagon, and this is my friend Alpha, the alpha cell. Let me guess. Alpha tells the pancreas to release you when my glucose level is low, right? And you stimulate production of glucose and release sugar from the liver, right? Well, I do the opposite from insulin since I raise your blood glucose level, and I also participate in different actions insulin doesn't." "Let's start at the top then, please," Petunia proposed. "I stimulate the production of glucose in the liver to release sugar. That brings your blood glucose level back to homeostasis. You release sugar from the liver while insulin stores sugar there. You're picking this up fast, Petunia." For the most part, insulin covered a lot, but I am important when there is too little glucose in your blood and body by preventing things like hypoglycemia, which is a low glucose level in blood. But try not to make too much glucose because then you'll have hyperglycemia, which leads to diabetes. But that's Ian's fault. Hey, don't talk about me here. Talk about what you do, George. All right, I will continue. I'm released from the pancreatic islets when stimulated by my friend Alpha, the alpha cell. Then once glycogen is stimulated by insulin, I will take it and break it down in the skeletal muscle. The same happens with the breaking down of triglyceride in the adipose tissue. In your skeletal muscle, the breaking down of glycogen into glucose is stored until you absolutely need it. This process is glycogenolysis. But gluconeogenesis is the formation of new glucose from the amino acids glycerol and others.
"Well, thanks, friends," Petunia said, taking the last bite of her chocolate bar. The end.